Deep. Hi everyone, welcome to the Odoo Insider session like every Thursday from 9:30 AM here in Belgium until 11ish and 30 minutes, something like this. We try to stick to the schedule. As you know, at 2 hours we stop answering the questions, but until then, please don't hesitate to ask any question on Twitch, YouTube or LinkedIn. Those are the three different media on which we are broadcasting today's emission. Like usual, you can see here that we still have the same link. Again, if you want to review the previous, replay the previous sessions, you have them all here. Maybe the last ones we still have to give you a bit of the link that we are going to copy paste, but otherwise on LinkedIn, you go on Odoo's website, Odoo's page on LinkedIn, you will find everything there for having a look at the previous questions. So I'm going to start directly with a few questions if there are. I see that we have a few people already commenting on the different platforms. So I will start with those ones, and if I run out of questions, that never happened since a few months already, I will dig in my questions list that keep growing here with lots of questions on the side. But we'll see that. I see that we have already a few people on the line that are asking us a few questions. So the first one I think is coming from YouTube, asked in two parts. First part is, what is the best solution to import accounting entries with their attachment using an automated action method? Specifically, is it possible to include the local URL of the PDF file in a column of the Excel file to be imported, then store the URL in a studio field, and subsequently through an automated action link the URL to the entry? Okay, this one can be super long if I want to make the demo, because of course when I create a demo, I do it from scratch, and so we start with a few lines that we want to encode. The thing that you need to know is that it's possible to import documents in Odoo. You have multiple ways of doing that. I'm going to explore a few with you today, and I'm going to test something because there's something I'm never quite sure, which is about importing things that are related to files that you store on your computer. What I mean with that is the following. I'm going to try first thing that is related to the product, and then we for the import, and then I'm going to do slightly different for the accounting entries, and we are going to see a few places where we may struggle, or we will see a few things that don't work as expected, and we will dive into how Odoo reacts with that. Different ways I can approach this. Maybe I can try first to have a look at accounting entries. It's been a long time I didn't do it, so I'm sure I'm going to struggle a little bit, but that's okay. Basically, you know, I think that in 2-3 weeks, something like this, we will have a day off here in Belgium. I don't remember if it's the 1st of May that is falling on a Thursday, but we are going to have a pre-recorded session about importing stuff. And I think that I'm going to cover those kind of things because those are important, are asked a lot by people. What I want to do quickly, you won't see it directly. I'm having a look at my computer here, just checking if I have a place where I have already some imports of journal entries that would be making it easier for me to directly start with something that I know exists. I'm borrowing a few files just to check that. I cannot find one there. Checking in another folder. I see I'm keeping track of a few files that I've been using here during the sessions about importing stuff so that we can reuse it. And as I'm diving into a few CSVs or Excels, I don't see any that is really related to importing accounting entries. Final check here. Here I have something about a chart of account. Nope, that's not the chart of account that I want. Chatter, employees, sell order lines. It will be close to sell order line. Stock, partner activities. Import accounting entries. This one seems to be working. Well, I guess at least I have it there, so I can maybe reuse this one as a starting point, and we'll see if it works or if it changed, because sometimes the data model can change, and maybe the change that was done on Odoo makes the import to have to be revamped. So I'm reusing the file that I have here. That was what I was looking for. I have a few files I've been using on Odoo Insider and other shows or demos with clients, and here I have, for example, some miscellaneous operations journal that I want to use with some credit and debit. with different IDs there. Let's try that, and if it works directly, that's super good because we'll earn a bit of time, and then I will explain why it was done that way. But I wouldn't be surprised that if it doesn't work. So having a look at the structure of the document already. When we talk about importing documents, usually when we import accounting entries, we are going to import journal entries that contain journal items. And so do we import journal entries or journal items? Usually we do it from the journal entries, simply for at least that reason. There may be maybe some other ones, but when you import journal entries, Odoo performs a check and is asking you that the journal entry is balanced in terms of debit and credit. So if you import journal items one by one, Odoo is trying to save each journal item independently before going to the next. And so after saving the first journal item, of course, it's going to be unbalanced because you import one by one. So usually you do it from the journal entries. And here we can see that for the same journal entry, we have different accounts. And so we have journal entry level, lines level from the journal entries. And you can see it here. It's prefixed by line underscore IDs. So it is going through the lines of the journal. Let's see what it says, and we'll figure out if this is working well. So let's click on import record. And it was in my documents here. It was somewhere. I think this is the one I've been using. So we can test. Okay, everything seems valid, so that is cool. There was a date that is in 2021, so very long time ago. I import, and it's telling me it's working, so cool. We already earned a bit of time by me not going through this and creating it manually, so that is great. So now, if I want to find it, it should be one of the earliest ones, but it's not posted, so don't forget, I imported something, I would need to post it after. And then we have the two entries, reclassification, so reclassifying. I'm not sure it's an English word even. Let's go there, and that is what we have, the amounts. Maybe I can show this to you so they can see that the amount that we have here is indeed the one that we have on the credit side with the label that is here. So maybe it's good to spend just a few seconds on description of this file. I'm not going to send it, but you see you can reproduce that, take a screenshot if you want, or watch again the video. But you see it's pretty neat. It's like only 8 columns, 8, 9. So the ID is, if you've been part of the show, you know that I'm always telling you use an ID. So it's an XML ID that will be reused, and we can call back that entry if I want to change something later. And there's even something wrong with what I did here. I'm going to show that again. Sorry, not answering directly the question, but you'll see we'll get there. You have the date, you have the reference, which is the name that we get here. You see reference field. We have the journal. That is here, we're looking for a name of the journal. We don't have that many journals, so it's okay if you don't use an ID, but you know that I would prefer that you use something like this and then you give an ID. Then accounts, we give the account ID based on the code. Then you have the line of the name, that is what we have here, the label, and then you have debit and credit. What is missing here is maybe something I would like to have if I were to do that correctly. Where can I add a column on the left? It would be to use this, not with this information, but right there. I would use test 1.1, and then we would have something like this, and then maybe I could do here test 2 and then test 3. Why do I do that? That's because okay, we import the line for the journal entry and we import everything inside, but if I want to change, let's say, an amount, like the amount that we have here because I made a mistake on both columns, because otherwise Odoo will tell me it's unbalanced. The thing is that if I do that, I'm going to recreate new lines inside the same entry. So let me remove that column E that was creating. So I will import, but I will ignore that column. So I will go back here, the journal entries, import records, upload a file, and then where is it? Journal entries, it was journal entry, was it this one? Ah, no, I think it's here. Of course I saved it now. It's telling me, okay, I'm saving this one. I close it. Is it better now if I reload? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to ignore this one and I'm going to try to re-import. If I re-import it a second time, what happens is that the amount doubled. Of course, here I'm creating the same lines again and again and again, simply because while I'm mentioning to Odoo, hey, let's reuse the same ID here for the entry, I'm not doing the same when it comes to the lines. So I'm going to duplicate every time the same double lines here inside the same entry. So in order to avoid that, the best would be to use the line ID, and I'm going to do that right now. I could even remove all of that. It's still in draft, so I can do that. I will remove all of it. And I'm going by here, importing, upload my file. Let's go there. Doing this time, I will keep this one. I'm curious, but I think it should work. It will give an ID at the same time. If I do this, I'm testing. Okay, I'm importing. Good. So now I still have the same information, but if I re-import and I want to change some amount, I won't be changing the amount, but you get the gist of it. I will be redoing the same, and it shouldn't be creating a second time the external ID. So I will import directly, and this time you see what it does. Instead of creating two new lines, it rewrote on the two lines that we have here. But of course it's the same amount, so you didn't see it, but at least I hope you are convinced that the good way of doing this is always giving you an ID here, so that we don't have double entries for that. So that is part of the equation. Now, talking about the files, usually in order to have that in Odoo, you need to have a binary field on which you are going to import stuff. Do we have on an invoice or a journal entry? I'm not sure. The example I'm always taking is the one of products, because at least the products, it's easier. You can see directly, or the product or contacts, you will see directly in the products what you have, and you can maybe reuse a few things here by adding I think it's image 1960, something like this, the field, 1920. So you give that field, it's a binary field. Odoo will understand that you're trying to upload something that is a file, and there you have different ways of doing that. Usually you give the URL of the file, or you give the base 64. And URL, maybe I can split that in two, because I never know if a local URL works. URL, if I'm giving a URL that would be a file hosted online, that is going to work, that is for sure. Local URL, I am not sure. It's been a long time I didn't test that, so I don't know anymore. Base 64, it works well, but as you are going to have kind of the image contained in your cell, that is going to be a massive Excel file. And it's important to know that Excel limits the amount of characters to something like 30K plus something. So if you have a very big file, it will be cropped and you will lose information. So I don't like too much base 64, plus it's a very heavy file for Odoo to handle. So URL would be the best to me, maybe second best if it works. It's the local URL, and then after that we have the base 64. But again, for large amounts, I wouldn't recommend it. We can have an example with that eventually as well. So I'm going to try with URL, but first I need to find a binary field here that would help me place that information. So do we have a binary field on journal entries? Let's figure it out. I need to go in debug mode. I'm going to make that a bit bigger because, you know, I have glasses, but the screen is a bit far away, and I hope that for you it's not too bothering if I'm making this bigger. And I'm going to have a look at the fields and try to find if we have a field that is a binary field that could be useful. Yes, but that's on a product. Okay, so that is of course something that I knew already. Let's go rather on the journal entries. Let's do the same thing, having a look at the fields. Having a look at the field types, we have a few binary things: signature, tax total, payment terms needed, invoice, PDF report file. So we could be using this one, but I don't know if there will be a check on the fact it's a PDF. So, and also I wonder if this one we don't rewrite it. So what we can do just for the test is going here. PDF report file is nowhere shown, I guess, so I'm going to open this, have a look at PDF here with PDF attachment. I'm going to put it here. Need to retype it now. PDF, and I'm going to check if this works. Yes, it's a binary file. I don't know if binary works the same way as images now. I have a doubt. Let's try. If it doesn't work that way, I'm going to find other ways to do it. And I know I told you that question, and we are going to spend a bit of time on it because it's important, and there's no other way than spending a bit of time if you want to explain this well. But it's a I see it's a read-only field, so we're not going to be able to do that. I'm going to create a new binary field then. All right, file. Oops. Okay, let's go here. Let's go here and say insider upload. Okay, there we go. So uploading file would be working. I'm going to do a quick thing. I'm going to go for a fake logo, and we're going to try to find a place where I can directly have access to the image. Do we have just the image in a new tab? Perfect. That is working. So this one is important to realize that I'm looking for a file that is directly available. So if you go on a website that displays a page where, even though the image is central to the page, if it's an HTML page that contains an image, it's not the same as directly the image. So what we need is really the image. I'm going there. I'm going to take this one and try to put it over there in my new field. So I'm going to put it here at the top level, and it's not URL then that I need. It's the name of the field. Where are we going? It's here. It's Xstudio Insider Upload, of course. Xstudio Insider Upload. That's a good one. And let's try to see if that is working. I'm going to copy paste the information. It's not the same style. We don't care too much about this for the import. And let's see what it says now when I'm trying to import that. You know, I have always the approach of trying things, being very naive, and then if it doesn't work, trying to explain it. So I'm not sure this is going to work, but let's try. At least it is recognizing it. Let's see if that will work. Testing. Error. Yes, it's saying me incorrect padding. Let me try if I remove that, if it's telling me it's working. That I don't like, because it's showing clearly that my issue is related to my studio field. So I'm going to, we have another one here, standard field. That is, yeah, I didn't call it that way, Odoo Insider Upload. So apparently that's the thing that we have here. The information that we have is not correct. Going back here, do we have something where some information is missing? No, and I think that the page would be all right. Am I missing something? I don't think so. I will try exactly the same, but this time on a product, because I'm curious about if it's an image issue or just a binary issue. But for the image, it should work anyway. So I'm going to try on a product, image 1920. That would be test 3 product, name product upload, and then we go on the image, and I'm copy pasting again the same link that we have here, and we'll see if it's the same error. If it's the same error, then I'm making a mistake in terms of upload. Let's save this one. Let's go. We have the product somewhere, and let's try. Oops, not new. Let's try to import as well. Upload that file, but this time we go on the second sheet, that is here, sheet 1. Let's try to test. It's telling me the same. Could not retrieve URL. Client error forbidden. Okay, so that we need to check. Maybe it's something that we have here that we are not able to select it. I should try with several images. I'm checking quickly if I can find an image on the drive on Google that I could be reusing for this. That's why you see me changing the place I'm looking at the moment. That's because I'm going in another window quickly, trying if I can maybe take that image, or I have another one here. And now my computer froze. Can you still hear me? Okay, because I cannot click anywhere now. That is an issue. I think I have maybe too many things open. So you can certainly still hear me on LinkedIn, but I see that I cannot click anywhere. If I click, nothing is happening, so I cannot change things here. And my keyboard is not answering. So I suppose I'll have to have a huge restart and quickly come back. Yeah, just trying very quickly this. Okay, no, not going any better. Yeah, I have to restart. I'm back in a minute. Back again. Trying again. Am I still live? Yes, good, perfect. All right, guys, I had to have a wild, wild reboot of my computer just here to come back to what we were doing. The screen froze, so I couldn't click anywhere. I could still move my mouse though, but everything was not clickable. So I had that already in the past. Hopefully it won't happen again today. I'm going to try to move that file I was telling you about someplace. I'm using another one that I create here. Can I get a link for this one? But I'm trying to have a link now to a file that I would be having on Google, but yeah, that usually doesn't work because if I do this, you see that is I'm using another logo, still fake one, but you see the image here is not pointing to a PNG file, so that is usually not working. I will need to find really a PNG file that is available without any check that we access the website before. Those kind of things. It could be, I wonder if I cannot be using an image that is even stored on Odoo. That's a test I can make right now by going on the website, because I can maybe use our own website to do that. Like we have an image here, I suppose. Let me check if this one, I can reuse it. Yes, is it a direct image? We can retry this one. But I know that very often I need to make this one also available here and shareable. So I'm going to make a small change and re-upload another one right there. So, oops, in my downloads, I suppose I have. Oh, I can reuse a superb thumbnail of Odoo Insider. Very good. So we have this, the page the document I just uploaded right now. I can have access to it in the backend as an attachment. I'm just curious about, you see we have two different ones, WebP and PNG, and there, yes, you have is public document, and that's what I wanted to check, because I wonder if I can reuse that if it's not public. So let's make that test again by going different places. So going back to the website of Odoo, reusing this one, opening in a new tab so that I have the link. Ah, yeah, but it's in WebP. I don't know if it will accept this one. I got the other one in PNG, but working as well. Good. And I'm going to reuse this one on my import file and see if it is working. So reopening the file that we've been playing with so far, and I'm going to here reuse this one, so that I shouldn't be having a second look at this one after. So importing, uploading my file, reusing here my document, accounting entries, Second file that we want, okay, let's retry it. Still same story. Cannot identify image file this time. Okay, let's try with the other link with WebP. And if that doesn't work, I will have to switch to the next question and answer this one in the video that we programmed in 2 weeks. Because it's a very, very good example. So I had a PNG here. I will use the WebP over there just to check if that would make any difference. I'm frustrated because I know it's usually a simple thing that I'm missing right there. Yeah, I cannot identify image file. I don't know why. Let me check quickly if there's something else that I can do. Because I really don't like to be defeated that way. So is there another PNG that I can use? I'm just maybe having a final check. And the one that we can have is, I'm checking if we can do this. Yes, here we have Google. Let's inspect that one, or let's have a look at the image that we have. It is, we don't have a direct link to the image over there. Okay. I could be able to save this one as, but there's no way I can get to the image exactly. No, it's loading the image in logo, but we have the background image after. Okay, I got it. It's in SVG. That I don't know if Odoo can handle it well. It's too bad. Okay, I'm going to keep this one in mind. Knowing that this usually should work, I don't see why we have an issue with this image in general. Maybe a final test I could do as well, but I'm not sure it will be any more conclusive, is to have the image being selected. Yeah, as you can see here, we go directly to the image, so it is rather okay. It would be nice to have a look at the errors that are given by Odoo. I'll go back to this later. And here I wonder if I can maybe reuse an image that is on my drive, and I will put in my drive the same image. I will call it fake logo, which is a JPEG file in my documents, just next to the place it is located. My Excel file is located, and I don't know if this would be sufficient because I have this just next to my file, or if I need to give it the complete link. But we will try just this way, very naively, and let's see if it works. I think it won't, but okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, let's try this one. And yeah, but it's not selecting the logo, I guess, because it's product upload. Where is my product upload? Yeah, it is here. But you see, while I didn't have any error in uploading the image, it's not selecting it. And if I take anything else here, up, let's retry again. Yes. Yeah, in fact, it's saying is valid, but this one, it cannot find the image anyway, so when it's a local thing. I can maybe try to do a final test on having the complete link to the image, so it's located in my documents, I think. So where is it? And so if that is it, it would be this. So that is what we have. I don't know if that would make it work any better, but I guess not. Okay, it's telling me again that it's working, but you can see the upload is not there. Before we move forward with the next question, I would like to give a bit more information about that. Another possibility to do this if you want, because initially we wanted to do two things: import the accounting entries, so that is working fine. add a file, and adding that file, whether it's an image on the product or any other type of file, you need to give it a link. I will check why the URL is not working. There must be something for the distant URL, not the local one. That is explaining why I got that error. If we have really a lot of time, but I see lots of other questions, so it will be a bit more complicated. But otherwise, what you could have been doing is going into the file and try to debug the error that is given by Odoo in the import window. That is going to be a bit too long for today, but I promise this will be part of the video that we are going to record. Second thing I can say is that when you are going to do those kind of things, another possibility is the following, is to rely on a bit of code to achieve this. One way you can do that is, I think I've already demonstrated that in the Odoo Insider, is the fact that when you use the Documents app, you can drag and drop documents here, and depending on where you're going to place it, you could find something so that Odoo directly recognizes the name of the document and tries to attach it to the document that is somewhere else, so to a record that somewhere else that is inside Odoo. And one way of doing that, I think it was part of a quick thing that I was showing. Yeah, I'm going to check that aside as well. On GitHub, there's a place where we have a few server actions. I don't know if that's the one that I can use. Let me check, because I know there was something about adding documents. If it's not this one, it's another one on which I've shown this in the past. I have another one that should be Odoo.sh test or something like this. Yes, let's try if it's here. No, it's not there. Okay. Under right file. I will have a look at that just after. There was another one here. There was another place where I created a specific thing for getting. No, I know I created a server action last time about documents for writing automatically the image uploaded in the document based on the name on the product. And I know I've been showing that in a previous Odoo Insider session, but I don't remember in which place I've put that. I'm pretty sure it should be around this place where I did that. So it should be, we'll have definitely documents somewhere, or documents with an S. But I don't find it here, and I don't have that many other places where I'm working on server actions. Just checking quickly. It bothers me that I cannot find this one. I have several repositories on which I'm working. Okay, that is it. I have a confusion. It's server actions instead of actions server. So I have two. So that is stupid. I have two places where actions server. Okay, you see the name of the repo. It's server actions instead of actions server. So that is wrong. And then you have it here. Auto add image and product, and that is an automated action that I used. I've shown it in the past as well to allow some different kind of files. When we put them in a specific folder in the document app, it's going to have a look at the name, and based on the name of the file that we import, when we strip the extension, we are going to try to find a product template that has the same name, and if we find the product template, we write the record data, so the image on the image here. That works faster when you have a list of images that has the same name as the record that you are importing, the same name or the same reference, or at least something where you can match an image with the content of what you imported. So that would be working. You can reuse that, of course. For the person that was asking the question, you can reuse that notion for importing PDFs if the PDFs have the same name as the journal entry, then that would work as well. But what you need to change is, of course, the fact that you don't work on product templates, but journal entries instead, so account moves. And that here you don't write on this field, but the field that will contain the image of your PDF. That's one way of doing, for example. Another way of doing that is to consider that you are going to add them as attachment, in which case you don't write on a field, but you write on the attachment with the ID and the type of product and the type of model that you have. That's another way of doing. You can reuse this as well. And in the meantime, I've seen someone replying on LinkedIn about the image name. I guess you need to remember the file name and location in demo. Demo makes the audience very... Yeah, I know. Sorry for that. That's why we are going to redo one as in the image with the same name as in import file. I will retry that and clearly create a video. I was telling you about the 1st of May, for which we have anyway a redo of the importing. We have another one. Can we also send with DPD in the web shop? That you can check. I would say yes, but if you use SendCloud. So if we go right here in the apps, you know that we support a few different ones. We have DHL, we have USPS. You have, I don't think that we have DPD. Yes, you should say DPD, you don't have, but then we have something that is a meta delivery carrier, that is SendCloud. And then it really depends of the country we're talking about. But if you go on SendCloud, yeah, you see you have different carriers. And I'm pretty sure that, yeah, they will support DPD. But you need to check what they offer in terms of shipping with them, because every integration that they have will offer different things. So if you go there, I think that there was a page on their side where if you have a look at the carriers before, they were showing which carrier was offering what. Some carriers it's only the labeling, some carriers it's labels plus plus amounts, so the estimates of the cost of the delivery. So some others it's even more in terms of contracts, not only the base price that you can have. So every carrier will offer things that are different, but what you can do is test the connection with DPD here. Through SendCloud. If you want to install SendCloud, as you can see, it's already installed on mine apparently. I don't know if on this one, yeah, it is installed, so you will find it in delivery method over there. You need to create a new one if it's not existing yet. So clicking on new, you can select SendCloud here, and because you select SendCloud, SendCloud DPD, I could be doing that and select with a SendCloud configuration my public key, secret key, decide from where I want to ship, and when you click load your product, you are going to have a series of products you can select from SendCloud and that are usually coming from DPD. And you are going to be able to say, okay, those are different types of not SendCloud, DPD product that I can use when sending stuff from my website. So we are not directly connected to DPD, but DPD through SendCloud. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure that some people made a direct integration. Here, if I have, yeah, DPD, you see you have one for Poland, you have a few others, I would guess here, shipping, but I don't know if it's one country in particular. So it's always best when you have a look at those modules to see if they are linked to only one country or several countries. I would say that if you want to remain standard, have a look at SendCloud DPD. The configuration is done quite quickly. You have on documentation over there, not DPD, but SendCloud. But yeah. We say DPD and it brings me to SendCloud as well. You have the SendCloud integration. It's explaining how you can create that integration and which are the information that you can retrieve. I think I have an account, so I will quickly check if I on my side have, and again on the side here, if I have an account with things I can show once I log in, but when I'm saying with things I can show, it's of course checking if I don't have some keys that are directly shown. In my account, I'm checking this, and if it is something I can show, I will show it. So you have different integrations. Yes, configure. Okay, good. I can show it. It's hidden. All right. Even though it doesn't matter too much because it's a test account. So on SendCloud, you are going to when you create your account, you're going to have something like this, with at the end some settings where you can select the integration. You see that I have a Odoo native integration. I can configure this one, and then I have a public key, a secret key. I can say which one I would like to select. You can see that in my carriers, in the demos that I've done in the past, I already have a DPD. In order to have more items here, I think you have to add some carriers somewhere. Yes, and there you see I have DPD, bpost, DHL. Those are the names that I used. I could be installing PostNL on top of that, and then it will show again in my settings and in the things that I can use. So start with that. The SendCloud account is created very easily. It's not like taking a lot of time, and we have the documentation to support you here about the exchange and the keys that you can use from one place to another. And here it is showing a few examples with a product of DPD that you can use with some minimum weight and how it will look like inside Odoo. All right, next question. Hello, in email marketing mailing, I would like the recipient to be automatically filtered so I don't get email duplicates. Do we have an idea on how to do this? Yes. One way of doing that is not specifically in the mailing. I have the feeling that it does it, by the way, automatically, but otherwise, what you can do is that you have a data cleaning module, and that data cleaning module is allowing you to have some deduplication. I'm checking if there's one that we use. No, not on the email addresses, but let's have a look at that. So if you have inside email marketing mass mailing contacts, here you could work on the mass mailing contacts, so based on the email, and ask to regroup them if possible. So another way of seeing this, maybe a quick introduction to that data cleaning module. It has made a few versions ago for making it possible to deduplicate contacts. You see that by default, all these ones I think are standard. Odoo comes with a few things that usually people want to deduplicate, among which I think the classic one is the contacts. And if you go into deduplication, it's saying, hey, you have a few things like similar contacts, similar opportunities, and it's proposing, hey, do you want to duplicate them, to merge them? So if I go here, I can say, okay, merge is going to tell me, okay, I just merged those two records. They are similar. That's all right. I can do that between those two people as well. And you see, every time you see if it's the type of object on which you want to merge, and then the similarity percentage. On your side, you could create a new deduplication thing on maybe the mass mailing contacts. I don't know if that was done in the past. Something like mailing contacts, and ask to do that based on a field that would be then the email, I would suppose. So that if you have an exact match, it would propose to merge them. When you click deduplicate, it will again, I think every day we have a cron that runs that proposes some deduplication based on what you can find. So that's a possibility. Otherwise, I don't think that you have something more here, because we have, this one, I don't have any emails attached to this one. But I wonder if there's not already a built-in mechanism of Odoo, and that I'm not sure, but I wonder if, let's imagine you have several times the same email. I think that Odoo is going to filter out the emails that are already the same. I would need to have a look at the code for this, but I think it makes sense that we do that for the same mailing, not sending the same mail to the same email address several times. I think there's a check for that in the code, so I'm not sure that it would be needed Droxid. Either Ali is asking us also, why does Odoo create two contacts, one for employee creation and another one on user creation? It duplicates contact. I'm going to check that because it depends on how you do it. So if I create, that's something that we did in the past, I think. If I go here and I create a new contact, I'm going to say either Ali, reusing your name, test insider, and either at aliinsider.com. If you do this and I'm saying, okay, you're a portal user, whatever, you have a partner that is created. You have it here, that's either Ali. From that place, if it were, that's maybe because I selected somebody that is a portal user, but otherwise I can create an employee. If I create the employee, I now have an employee, a user, and a contact. If I go on the employee, we have here the employee itself, and do we have in the settings, we see the related user, which is the person I'm coming from. I can go there, it's the same information. So this one I'm selecting here is the same as this one, just not the same view, but it's the same. And both are linked to either Ali here. If I go back in my contact, I have two contacts, then maybe there's something wrong, but let me check. No, I have only one. And this one is the one that is related to the user and to the employee at the same time. Can we see that somewhere? At least for the user side, yes. For the employee, yes. Employee, we have it here. So you see it's the one I just created now. And for the user, you can see it by going there. If I click on Grant Portal Access, you see it's an internal user already. So that's one way of quickly checking that. So in fact, you have three informations that are not the same but that refer to the same person. You are a contact of the database in the address book. You are an employee because you work in that company, and you are a user because you need to connect to Odoo to be able to perform some actions. And some in any Odoo environment, you would have those three information. On our side, we have millions of contacts. Among those millions of contacts, we have a few thousands to 100,000 are portal users, and among those users also we have a few internal ones, and we have something like 5,000 employees, and some employees have a portal user, and they all have a contact. So you will find a few examples every time different, but anyway, what I wanted to say is that we are not duplicating the contacts here either. So Kisley is asking us another question. I would like to configure the mailing using my business email account through Google Business. Is that possible? Yes. So you would like to send the email, I suppose, from your Google Business account. We have a lot of documentation about that as well. So let me close those things. I'm always recommending to go there because it's a process that can be a bit long, and it depends on which solution you are using. Is it Google? Is it Microsoft? Mostly, it's very often one of those two. You have lots of other possibilities, but those are the two that are used. If you type email, maybe I should have a look at something that is a bit, yeah, you see here, connect to Gmail, and then you have communication, manage inbound and outbound messages. That's what you need. Okay. How am I going to send emails from Odoo? And you see here we have a few ways to help you using a custom domain, or to use another solution, different servers for transactional and mass emails. And then we are going to say maybe you want to use Odoo for transactional email, but marketing emails you are going to use Google, Microsoft, or other solutions. And here we explain how you can create a mail server in Odoo. And if it's one that you use with Gmail or Microsoft, we have a bit of extra documentation on how to do that on Odoo side and also on Google API console. So if you connect there, you can say the project on which you work, a bit of extra information, the address to which you need to go back to Odoo once you are connected, again, client's ID and secret, those kind of information. You are going to reuse them also in Odoo, and in Odoo it happens here, two different places, but one you can start with is, I think, even when you go here, there must be something about the emails that will be very, very quickly available. Digital mail, maybe the interface changed compared to the thinking about that. This is a screenshot that I think is from a previous version, so it will be maybe slightly different what I'm trying to accomplish. Password, permissions. You have mail plugins, it's not that. Okay, otherwise what you can do is also go in outgoing mail servers. Over there, you see that is also something that we are saying when you use Odoo.sh or Odoo Online. By default, you are going to use Odoo.com email server. So even if you don't have any record here, that's what's going to happen. But what you can do is create your own Google Apps email server. Usually you are going to use OAuth for authentication, and then when you click there, it's going to propose you to, yes, you need to give a username, of course. I could give maybe the fake one that I'm using. Doing this, you see that using my username there, it's going to have a from filtering that will be exactly the same as well. And yes, TLS here is going to open after when I will try to send emails. I will have to make that connection parameters on Google side, because at the moment I created an outgoing email server over there, but if I want to test the connection, I will need to have a token received from Gmail before, so that is a bit longer, but that is explained not here in the duplicates, but in the communication in Odoo by email. So you can get indeed that configuration being done for sending your emails from another account, not only Odoo.com's account. That is a possibility. Nancy Sika is asking, how can we get free a domain from a website in Odoo? I need to remember the place we go through for this. So I don't know if it's trial or maybe in my database. Let me check. Here I have the database I'm using at the moment. This one that is soon to be over. I think if you go there, there's domain names, and from here, if you click use my own domain, I saw that. I thought that we were offering at some point domain names, but I'm not sure then, because usually I would have thought it would be from here. That is for using an existing domain, apparently. So you put your domain name here, you create the CNAME record on your DNS. That works, but there was a place where you could use also Odoo for your website. I'm going to try this in a different way. So on Odoo.com, because last time I realized that there are a few things that you've seen it earlier today. I was struggling with the import of something that I've done maybe 10 times in my life. There are a few places where sometimes Odoo is going to give you a huge shortcut to accomplish what you want to do, like I was telling you about browsing the industries, and the fact that if you select anything here, you can go very fast in creating a database with already an industry. And I wouldn't be surprised that we have the same feature for when you want to create your website at the same time. So retrying quickly here to have access to maybe the website. Marketing service. Let me check websites, website builder. But maybe now I'm wrong and we don't do that anymore. That maybe I'm not up to date. But I think that we used to propose that website thing. Okay, I'm going to try it. Let's do that. Let's see if it's giving me anything more in terms of configuration. But that was a question of Nancy Sika. I know we had that. Let me check if we still have it. I want to have some fun with maybe our new support tool. I'm asking our support page just to see what is it telling me. So you see here I'm using our need help thing, and I said, can I get a free DNS wizard website? If yes, yes, you can get a free domain. DNS management is available for Odoo Online, limited to 1 domain per client. Sign in, access your Odoo account, database manager, domain name. Domain names, don't see, look for the domain name you want and check if it's available. So it's what I did, but so let me come back to my database place, because that's what I did. I've been there. Domain name, search, look for the domain name you want and check if it's available. Okay. So the website app is installed. But in fact, that's just because I just had to click on verify here, so I can test that. Okay, so that's it. I was in the right place. I just didn't check it. We needed to click on verify and enter the name. So Nancy Zika, then you click on register it, and then wait, retrying this one. Verify. If I click on register it, what is happening? Okay, it's not leading me to any place, so I'm not sure about that then. Let's try this one. Okay, then all right. Then you see, maybe there's something missing here. Is that when I do this, I don't get information from Odoo, but maybe it's saying that we are going to receive an email my side. Okay, I'm checking in my mailbox if I receive something, but I don't see it, so I think there's maybe something here. Yeah, no CM records. Okay. And this one, yeah, it was verifying but not searching. Okay. Okay, I need to check that because obviously there was a place you could do this. Check with your access, because maybe here with the databases that I'm using, it's true that I'm not using the proper way. I'm using educational databases and databases that are maybe outside of the offer. I don't know if I would have something different with different types of accounts. So definitely from the support and what we did in the past, I know that it's here about the domains, and that usually we offer one. The only thing that we do is that we verify that the website that you have behind is legit and that it is not like spam or some kind of businesses that we don't support. And if it's the case, we are going to attach the domain that you can take, that we take for you to your website. So that is for you, Nancy. I know it's here under the domain that you will find that information. Another question from Maria is, hi Antoine, is there any way I can add a new field into the traceability report from inventory? I would like to get the field received from a receipt. I need to see on the report from which supplier my components came from. Okay, so if we go here, you want traceability report, so inventory. I don't know if that's the place where you go is here for traceability. That's where you go maybe. If you do that, I see that the model is stock lot. I will check if I can find one for which I have some traceability. Hopefully I will get something somewhere. Okay, and then you would like to see the person that is inside. All right, that is going to be a tough one. In order to find this traceability report, we have no other solution than to go a bit in the code to find this kind of information. I don't know if it's Enterprise or if it's Odoo.sh, but this is usually a view. I will check first if I can find a view that has exactly that name or that information. We have this. Is it what we need? Reference product date, lot, serial number. Reference product date, lots. Yeah, that seems to be that view that matters. Where is it taking that information from? Is it on? It's a QWeb view, so I'm not sure we have a very definite model that is behind. We have some stock move line information here. We have for each lines here, so we receive lines. I wouldn't be surprised that those lines are written and cannot be changed in the code. Well, in Odoo, and we need to go in the code. In order to know that, I need to check. Okay, it's in the stock report information, so I guess we can go in the stock application. So I'm clicking here. Let's move to the stock. And I suppose it will be in the reports that we are going to have this. So we said it's traceability. Do we have something like traceability? Yes, here. And I suppose that at some point we are going to send lines, to return lines, get move lines. Yes, get lines. I guess that is what we are going to send. And so you wouldn't have a lot of information. But it's stock move line. I need to check exactly what we send. So we have the lines, and inside the lines we are looking for the level information. Okay. This is maybe going to help me find where it is located. We have the model somewhere. We have an ID, model, and then unfold. And then if it's unfoldable, I suppose we are going to open something else. We have columns. Just trying something. I want to be sure. Is this the right one? It's maybe not the right one that we need. We can still try it. Reference product date, let's from 2. Yeah, no, it seems to be really the same information that we have here. Do we have different languages? English, US, French, but I'm not in French or anything else, so it should be correct. Yeah, I'm asking here for changing a few things, and I see it's not exactly that. So I'm curious if it's exactly the right report I'm working on. But the column seems to show me that it's correct, but the information that I'm changing inside the report doesn't look like it is. But if it's not here, stock body print, I wonder where it could be. So what I can do is also have a look at this one just to be sure it's the right thing. So it says ID 565. So maybe you know by now that we can check that information by going to the actions and check. I said 565, that's correct. Traceability report, it's a client action. Do we have client actions? Yes. 565. Okay. Okay, it's on the stock traceability report model, so maybe the view I was on is not the correct one, so I can make a second check here. No, it's correct, it's the right name. Okay, so somewhere here we are going to send back the level. Yeah, we have it at several places, so that is a bit bothering. but the information you get, so you were asking, Maria, receive from, so you would like to see the supplier, but do we have the information from here that would help us? Let me make that bigger for you, because maybe it's small on your screen. So the same unfoldable information, columns. We don't get much. You don't get a lot of information about that. So we don't have. I'm looking for a place where we could eventually go back up in some extra information, but it looks like it's not information that we get, as everything that we have here is coded over there, and that from what is coded you don't get the supplier information, nor an object, a record that you could browse to come back to the supplier information, like a stock move line, a stock move from which you can find the picking, from which you can find the supplier. So to me, that would mean a bit of development to find that information by changing this over there. That I would go in that direction. Another thing that we can do is check if, so we have columns here, so that's the columns that we have here are, I suppose, the columns that we have over there. Let me check if we have another place where we have columns. No, that's it. So what we are going to receive is this, and we are going to parse it because we go in each and every column as a new TD, so a new table cell. So that's why we have, when I click here, we go from one table cell, another one, another one, another one. So what we need here is to add this over there. And so it means that from the lines that you receive when we call this, you will need to pass from the final val, so we can have a look at what it is. Yes, supplier information. So that means, yeah, improving here the information that you receive. I see here we have stock move line, so potentially you could, from a stock move line, get information per move line. Anyway, we put something in the final vals here. So where was it? Yes, so we put information about move lines values, and maybe there you could add extra information about the suppliers coming from the move line to the stock move to the picking, and then you have the supplier. It's a bit it's a bit longer than just a few modifications, so that would require development, Maria. Michel Strom, hey, can you say Pululu? Of course I can say Pululu. So that Odoo Insider watchers know how to pronounce it at Odoo Partners Days when they see you. Okay. I don't know exactly the story behind Pululu. That's a thing of Arthur. So that's to him that you should say that. Is his catchphrase. So instead of saying hello, he says Pululu. I don't know why. So honestly, that's more a question for him. Today, it's not Arthur that we have. It is Gauthier. Correct. That is with us. I'm not saying that he's shy, but he's talking a bit less than Arthur. No, he wants to talk because I'm saying this. So, your mic is off? Is it good? No? Okay, the mic is off anyway, so it will be for a later time. Okay, Salia Buntumi is asking, hello, how to import a set of image for a set of product in Odoo Enterprise V18? It doesn't work properly for me. Yes, Salia, we started the talk, today's conversation with that. And it was a bit of a struggle, so I'm going to create a video for that in a few weeks, so that we don't have it a second time today, because I think that we spent. It was not only about the images; it was about importing the journal entries that we spent a bit of time on, and that was working fine. And then for the image part, that was a bit more of a struggle. So I will come back to this with a proper video. Atef Saoud is asking, is it possible to display my time off, planned activities, and to-do deadlines in a calendar module? The goal is to centralize all my data and events in a single view. I know we don't have that. So the thing is that's a question that we have from time to time. And the reason is the following. The reason why we don't have that. One moment. The reason for that is that you have lots of things that we use in Odoo that are having a start date and time and end date and time. And usually we want to only display the ones that matter at that moment. What you are asking is, I would like to have a consolidated view of different things directly inside Odoo. And if you want to do that, it's a bit of development, but it would be through the calendar because in the calendar, I think it's maybe the easiest, the smallest model that we use, so there's not that much information. You'll see that if I create something, you see already a lot of different things. But this one, let's have a look. It's a calendar event. Yeah, calendar event. And that model is, I think, the one that is the simplest if you want to attach appointments to calendar event. And you gave me time off to calendar event. Let's see. Sometimes potentially there are already time off requests that are maybe already linked to calendar event. I can try this one. So let me add a new thing here from today to tomorrow, unpaid leave. Let's add this and let's approve and see if it is showing in the calendar, or at least in a place where everything is centralized. I see here it's not. And in fact, that's because when you create those kind of models here, that is a HR leave, if it's not inheriting a calendar event, those would be two different objects with their own way of living and their own calendar view. So that's why Odoo tells you, okay, you need to go there or here for the calendar view to see it. One way you could do that is to ask that when you create or modify a time off like this one, you also create a calendar event inside Odoo. I can have a look at this one was HR leave, so we can have a look at where it is created, that HR leave. So usually that would be something like this that would help me to find HR holidays. Yeah, I can go there. I will find the HR leave just after. Okay, that is here, HR leave, that is there. And yeah, it's inheriting everything that is related to the chatter, but not to a calendar event. So they are separated. You need to modify what is an HR leave to say, every time I'm creating one, I need to create an associated record of calendar event type that contains the same information in terms of start and end date. But not only you need to do that when you create, you need to do that when you duplicate, you need to do that when you write on top of that, because maybe you're going to create a new leave and you want to change it later. So if you change it or if you cancel it, you need to reflect it also on the calendar. So things will be a bit complicated when you want to have all the objects, because you are going to duplicate kind of information from HR leave information that contains HR leave and lots of calendar stuff. You are going to duplicate that to the calendar event. I don't know if we have a lot of things that inherit the calendar event. That's a search that we can make, I think, just to see if Odoo already prepares the case for calendar event. And that's because I thought that calendar event would be the object that we could use as an inheriting base, but I'm not even sure it should be the one. So we have, we improve the calendar in the CRM. That is not going to work. My search, I'm not sure that I could do this. It's going to be an imperfect search. I would rather check that this on my computer so that I can have exactly what I want. Calendar event on HR calendar. So that is potentially something that is related to what we need, because we have a mix of apparently HR stuff and the calendar event. So is it that we okay, we are going to have unusual days, employee availability for an event. Okay, that's maybe at some other point that we need that. But short stories, you need to change Odoo so that we generate calendar event stuff. And that is a good example. Google Calendar, we need to extend what is a calendar event to accept that when we add the Google synchronization of calendar, you have a bit more information like the IDs on Google side, people that are invited, eventually a Google link, those kind of things. So you have a few places, and every object that you think should have a calendar view, if you want to have them as a calendar, you will have to code it. Again, going into different places. There, I'm going to redo that on the apps because I'm pretty sure that somebody already thought about that universal appointments, full calendar scheduler, maybe that. You can have a look at what it says it does. So you have a few joint calendar, maybe that's the one. So that's maybe what you want. So that's a possibility. But we don't have that at the moment in standard. So I would say have a look at the ones that you have here, test them, ask for a demo, and check if that is working the way you want it. But in standard in Odoo, it's not something that we have at the moment. Hello, Nicolas Niquez is saying, I have an IoT box. I can send a report to directly printed on an Epson TM M30 printer. The outgoing ticket is not supported by the IoT box. We have to download the report to the computer and then send it to the printer. Is it possible to configure the IoT box so that it understands these types of reports to be printed on this type of printer? Printed on in this type of printer and avoid downloading the file and thus have it in one click from Odoo. I would need to check first if the Epson TM M30 printer is one that we support. That's a first thing. Second, can your IoT box recognize, I suppose it recognizes the printer. So when you go to your devices, it sees the printer. Is it that you change so much the ticket? Because usually when you have a printer on Odoo, and the one that we recommend, you can link it to the IoT box or your computer. I don't know if it's the printer goes automatically through the IoT box. I'm never sure if I want to check that. PS hardware, Odoo. Barcode scanners, self-weighing printers, checking. Yeah, so I guess that's the one that you have. Good. Okay. So if it's a supported one, it should work. It should work in direct print, unless you made modifications on the PDF so that it doesn't work. Let me reread your comment. IoT box can send a report directly to the printer. Okay, that is weird. Nicola, it shouldn't be working that way, because I see my first point was, okay, do you have a supported printer? You do, and the printers that we have are supposed to be working in direct printing. So I would be curious of if you can see the printer automatically, and you can print. You know, when you branch it, when you connect it, you got an IP address. I think it used to work that way. I hope it didn't change too much. You have something that is printed directly on the ticket, showing you the IP address, a few extra information, and usually the report that you create can be sent there. Now, can you comment on this and tell me if it is a default report that you're trying to print, or did you create your own report and that would be partially explaining it? Because I have the feeling that it shouldn't be happening and that it is more like, if not a bug, a small issue. It reminds me that I need to check the dates. I was telling you about May for the meeting on, well, the pre-recorded session on importing. There's another one that is coming in with Hermine, that is our specialist on in terms of IoT and the clients that we serve through the IoT, so the restaurant, the shops, and so on. And we have a nice meeting here during the Odoo Insider that is scheduled. I need to find the date. I know it's in May. I think it's the 17th of May. Not sure about the date, but in 1.5 months we are going to have someone here that is going to play a little bit with connecting stuff in front of you, like we do here, purely naive, having a look at how we can make things work. Talking about a report printed from the sales module. Outside the POS. All right. Okay. No, it's not going to work then. So I suppose that already there's something that matters to us, which is the format to which you want to print, and also the fact that you want to send it in direct printing. It is done in the POS that we know that clicking on a few buttons, the ticket should be sent to the printer. If you want to do the same from the sale order, that's going to be a bit complex. I'm not an expert into that, so I'm afraid I would be losing. Well, losing is not a good way. Spending a lot of time on this, not being sure on how it works, because you have the ticket that is sent. I guess we don't go through the same ways to auto print and select the printer. I'm trying to wrap my head around how can I find that information in GitHub or directly in Odoo so that it works and I don't spend too much time on this. Because I don't know in which module that would be located even. I know I can try having a look at the point of sale application and see if I can find some information about how it is being sent. I guess that is complicated. I don't know if that's someplace here that we are going to generate the ticket. And that is not something that I'm really good at. I cannot tell you. I know it is normal that it doesn't work directly outside the POS, but I cannot tell you how hard it would be to make this work directly inside any other application. I have the feeling that it's not that easy, but does it require a lot of development? That I'm not sure. In the POS, we use a lot of JavaScript, and it's not you can see it from the layout it has. It's not exactly the same kind of application in Odoo, and we have some liberty or freedom that we don't have on the other apps. But that's also because we develop more over there, and so we have kind of ways to directly dialogue with the devices that you have, and I don't think that we leave that door open on the sale order or the purchase order. So that would be I'm pretty sure, but depending on your question, we can discuss that outside of the talk today and see if we have another solution or if we did that already in the past. But a few solutions I can think of. I know that we have a print node integration that is done in the community. And that can sometimes be used direct printing. So you contact print node, and print node is directly connected with other printers for direct printing based on some rules. And that is working fine. Maybe not this one, because I'm not an advocate of this one in particular, but we had to do a print node integration for another client. And it was quite cool because you say that kind of document automatically goes always to the same printer. And that works well. And as we had the freedom of making a bit of development. That was quite cool the way it worked. But it was not standard here because we use print node. Odoo sends information to print node. Print node is connected to some of your printers, and we send message through this to make this work. On your side, maybe you need to work a bit differently than what you do at the moment, because I think at pure standard you won't get there. That is not something that you can do in pure standard. Yes, you can contact, but that's usually paid work. So we have SuccessPack, and you need to go through a consultant for this, because you know the difficulty, and it's really good that we have the questions like those ones. Sometimes it requires a bit more thinking that what we have now, or a bit of demo. At first, when I read your question, was like, okay, but it should be working. And then you tell me, no, but it's outside of the POS. So, okay, it changes the way I would have to answer that question. And my feeling is, if you send that to the support, they're going to tell you what I'm saying. It is development. And development, they say, okay, I'm telling you it's development, but I'm not going to develop it for you. It's not part of the support mission. So on our side, if you have a question like that, different ways. You are working with a partner, you can ask your partner. You are working already with Odoo, you can ask Odoo, but then if we need to develop that would be a paid work. And then we see how we can do it. And we analyze if it would be answered through a specific development for you, or if we have other tools like the one that we have here that we could be considering for you. But I'm not an expert in everything, and the POS, like everything that is hardware related, it's a zone where I don't feel super comfortable. But I have the feeling that one would be development, almost sure. Ruben is asking, we have a large key client who sends their purchase order to us exclusively as PDF files via email. Manually creating sale orders from this PDF is time consuming. Is there a native Odoo feature or module using OCR or similar AI that can automatically read these documents, PO PDFs, and create sale draft orders in Odoo? Not native. What we do have though is if your client uses Odoo purchase order that you create, if I'm creating a purchase order here from one database, I could be uploading that as a sale order on the other side. You see you have upload, and Odoo understands purchase orders that are created from another application, another Odoo client. So that would work. Otherwise, if it is something that needs to be read, you have a lot of, you're talking about AI. Maybe you can have something with AI that generates from the PDF the content, and that finds the information to generate a CSV file, but it's not something that we have natively in Odoo at the moment. Michel Strom is asking, can I see the contact app if an individual is registered in a mailing list? If not, how to add it? Oh, good. In the contacts, so usually answering that question means we have two models. Let's try to find if there's already a link existing in Odoo, linking those two models, and if not, let's try to see how we would do that with a bit of development or extra views or things like that. So email marketing, we were talking about mass mailing contacts here. It's weird, but we have a name, we have a first name, we have some information, but it doesn't look like we have some partner information looked as I can see. So one way I can confirm that is to go into the fields and check if over there we have many-to-one. That's what I would be looking at first. That would link to a REST partner. No, we have something to the title, to the country, create ID, write ID. No, many-to-many, that would be weird. It would mean that we would have a contact that is linked to several partners, and one-to-many, it's the same. No, we don't have that. So you don't have this. So if you would like to have that, I would do the following. I would, and that's maybe something you could argue should be standard. But if I go there, I can say I'm going to create that link that is not existing yet. That is not existing yet. I was thinking about something else, but okay. I'm saying, okay, now you are going to be linked to a REST partner, so it's a contact, and we can link someone to a contact. So using here contact. Okay, so we have that contact place. I would prefer to make it read-only and get the information from the email. So that if we create a new or change some information here by changing the email, if we change the email, we are going to look for a new contact. Let's have a look at that. So here it's just email field, and I'm going to create an automation rule that is here link mass mailing contact to contact. Okay, it's mass mailing contact. So here it's mass mailing. I need a mass mailing contact. It's not mass mailing contact. It's mailing something. Technical name, mailing contact. Okay, so trigger would be on save or on UI. You have two things: when you change information or when you change a field. But let's say when we update the email field. So we are going to look for a contact that has that information. But then comes the notion of it is authorized to have several contacts having the same email. So it would need a bit of perfection, better explanation here. But let's find a partner. So that would be here having the email that is equal to your record email. And if there is a partner, then we write on the record and we say that my new field, now that should be Xstudio, I said contact, so I suppose that's the name we are going to check. It should be the partner ID. Let's try this. Maybe, you know, every time I do this, there are a few mistakes. We need to check that second time. Let's find, all right. I don't have any email here, but I must have a few emails are with AHU. Okay, I have Sergio here. Okay, that's somebody that was there, I suppose, last time. Or I can reuse my email address. We could also have a look at something like going lowercase first, because that is also something that would be problematic. So we admin, do we have another one in the mass mailing contacts here? Yeah, perfect. Email. Let's change that. Ah, perfect. We have an error. What is the error? So I'm trying here to do what? Ah, yes. That is the thing I was mentioning. We have several partners that are matching. So if we have a partner, I should say yes, but change it so that we select only the first partner. Then that is it. Like this could work. Let's see if that is working any better. Yes, then it works when I save. So that is the information I have. If I'm typing H2, then it's not changing. So that's maybe something I would need to change so that I'm not attaching something to someone different and say else record write, and then I would need to say this is false, for example. So that's if I don't put any information, or if I don't find it, let's remove a previous value that I already had. So let's do that again. Yeah, then it's removing. Let's put my real email address. Okay, then that's working. But it selects the first one, and so we see, and we know that this is not correct, since I have several people with the same email. So it's not perfect, but it's close to what you ask. And then, no, something different that you asked also is saying, okay, but now how do I link them to existing contacts? So that would be creating the one-to-many button here. And I will go to mailing contacts. Maybe it was already existing, by the way. I'm going to have a second look after. Yeah, it's not the button I want. It's here, it's a label. So you see the mistake I made was I clicked on add a button instead of this little plus here. I want a stat button. So mass mailing or mailing contact. Mailing contacts. And then I'm going to select on the mass mailing. Do we have something here? There? No, I will have to look for it. And then it would be on the mailing.contact model. Yes, that's the one I created. Good. All right, if we do this, I will close. I have now my mailing contact, and there I can see my mailing contact I was talking about, which is here. So that would be something that you can do. Right there. That is for Michel Strom. We have another question from Kisley. Without creating a mailing list, can we directly import add specific contacts while sending the newsletter? No, you would need to. It depends. The best is if you have only email addresses, create a mailing list. And it is done quite quickly because in the mailing list, I think that if you click here, import contacts, you can give just the contact's name plus emails, and that is done very quickly. And then you can click on send a new mailing. So here, what you ask is without creating a mailing list. But no, because here I'm in the mailing list, but it goes very, very fast. So I don't know if your question is without creating a mailing list because you want to get rid of the idea of having a mailing list that you are going to maybe use once. But if that's why you say without creating a mailing list, I say drop that constraint because it's useless, create a new mailing list, import contacts, send your email, archive the mailing list if necessary. Now, if you want to do something different, you can create a mailing that is not based on a mailing list, or at least it was possible before. Yes, you can say here, I would like to base it on the contacts, and mailing based on contacts. And then from the contact, you say, here's the filter I would like to use. Maybe you want to do it on the country and only contact Belgian partners, in which case I'm going to say country is in perfect Belgium. Okay, if you do this, I will only have 3. Yes, I should say I did it the wrong way. I clicked on the records here instead of doing it from there. Stupid of me. You go on country, and you say country is in Belgium. That would work then. And then you see you have the 3 records, and that would be only on those 3 records. So if you want to avoid the mailing list, it's okay, but you need to find a way for Odoo to select the contacts, and then it's a filtering option. And that filtering can be complicated, and if you want to have a filter that is that you cannot explain with those kind of things, sometimes the best way is to do the following, is to use, I'm not saying that it is how you need to do, but you can use also the ID here and say the ID is in. Yeah, that is weird because we don't have that. You need to play it with it here. I think that would work. And then you give here a list of ID, and I could say 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, and let's see what it says. And then we have 2 records, and you say, yeah, but how do I find those IDs? You export them, you find them back, you copy paste them, you put them there. It works if you have a few hundreds of items, several thousands, then it's not super effective, but that's potentially something that you can do if you have not really a good filter and that you want to target a few people that are really specific but not creating a mailing list. That works, but I would say if people are not related or if it's hard to create a filter, then go for the mailing list and import your contact. It will be way faster. And if you don't want to keep them, drop it, just archive, and that will be all right. That was for Kisley. We have another one from Vasco Rodriguez. Can we make the subcontracting work have more visibility on the sale order? Depends. Depends what you ask. First way, if I stop it there and I take it literally, one way of quickly doing that is to say add a section subcontracting and subcontracting. Yes, okay, and I will add a product. This product is subcontracted, and then I would say services. And then you add a product that would be event registration. And yeah, it's asking me to configure tickets. Okay, let's put something else. And eventually subcontracting would be at the end. If you do that, that's okay. When you print it, you're going to see the part that is subcontracted. And so it is very visible here which part is given to someone else and not going to your pocket. That's maybe what you want. That's the simplest way to do it. It is split your quote according to different sections that are subtotals as well, so it's very readable for someone that is going to receive it. But I don't know if that's what you need, because when you say I want to make it more visible, it is because I want to share it with a client, or is it because you want to extract some data from it after, in which case maybe it would be a different answer, but I'm not sure of what you ask. But yes, you can make it more visible that way. We have another question here from Abir El Nahas on LinkedIn. I have 3 bills, 1,000, 2,000, 2,500. I want to pay them with one payment of 3,000. For the first bill, I want to pay 750. The second bill, I want to pay 1,000. The third bill, okay. It's possible through Odoo, and I want to connect Power BI to Odoo.sh or Odoo.sh to ODBC connector. I will start with the second part of the question about connecting Power BI to Odoo.sh. You cannot. You cannot, but it's not a problem, because what you can do, though, is get the database that you have on Odoo.sh, restore it on your local environment, and then connect Power BI to it. We don't want to have Odoo.sh that is potentially a place where people make a lot of requests because 90% of the environment that we have on Odoo.sh are shared among different customers. So if you have someone that is abusing the system and asking a lot of reporting, is making the other databases potentially slower just because he's requesting a lot of things that it doesn't always need all the time. So what you can do is you can connect to through SSH to your environment, production or staging. You can ask from there to get a backup. You have, I think, always. I'm checking at the same time. I'm saying this. It's not correct on this one because I created the environment this morning. But let's show where it should be located. You have a place in backups where you are going to find. Here you see there's nothing, but usually there's a daily backup that will be there. You take that daily backup from SSH. You retrieve it on your own server, and from there, you are going to query from Power BI to Odoo, and that would work. That is the second part of the question. The first part was about having several vendor bills that you want to pay. I think it's possible what you want to achieve. Usually, accounting, where are you? I'm going to create that, a few bills. Perfect. I have two that are not paid here, so I'm going to confirm this. I'm going to work with two different bills on your side. You have three, but it won't change that much. If you say pay here, you are going to give it's going to take a total amount. But what you could do is pay a first one or create a group payment. I'm going to select maybe here I have manual or checks. You could have SEPA. I'm going to try this with different amounts. I'm maybe going to have several steps to get where you want. So we are going to have a payment here through the bank journal, a manual payment. I'm creating the payment. Okay, there we have the payment. I can validate it, and I suppose that if I validate, okay, it's marking as paid, but here it says in payment. Okay, going to the second one. Saying the same, bank manual, I'm going to put 200, so I'm paying everything but the VAT, manual payment as well. Account number, maybe I need one if I want to use a group payment after, I'm not sure. I'm going to do that in payment. Okay, we have the payment over there, we can validate as well. And I wonder, now that I have several payments, if I cannot take those and create a batch of payments where you have that, and if you validate, must be posted to validate the batch. Okay, but I thought they were posted. If I were using SEPA, it would be possible for me. Here I have selected manual payment, but if I were using SEPA, upon validation, I would receive a XML file that I could send to my bank with the different split. So having those payments, it is possible. The only thing that we mentioned here is that I created the 750, 1000 on your side, so it's 100 and 200 on my side. I created it from the invoices, then I'm going to the batch payment in order to validate it. On your side, maybe what you wanted to accomplish, but I don't know if you can do this. But also, I did it for, in your case, I think it's the same supplier, that I'm not sure because it's not said in your example. I can maybe create a few quick other ones. Here, Aurora department. Okay, let's say this 1 hour 100. Good, bill date is today. Let's confirm. Yes, all right. And let's duplicate this one. Same amount. All right, confirm. Good. So we have those two that are not paid. Maybe we can do this directly from the batch payment. I'm not sure. Outbound bank, batch content. No. That is here. Not something where here I need to select payments. So the payments need to exist already beforehand. Let me check if I can create one big payment for my Alabama. Was it that guy that wanted? Let me check here. Bills. No, Aurora. It was. Aurora Finance Department, and I want to pay 200. But then you don't. If I'm doing this, I'm saying I have a split of 200. I don't have. I'm not mentioning to which one I want to link it. What you could do is if you confirm this one and you validate it here. As I didn't do it, you see, I didn't do it from the invoices. For Odoo, it's like, okay, you have two invoices, you have one payment, which one goes with which? You don't know until eventually on your side, when you have a look at the dashboard, if you remake that payment, you are going to receive at some point a transaction from your bank saying that, in fact, for Aurora, you already paid 200 euro with Memo paying 2 invoices. And what you are going to receive in that case is this from your bank, 200 euro going out of your bank account, and then you will have eventually 2 things that you want to select here. And the first one, you see, you are going to say, I want to dedicate 100 euro there, and the second one would be here. So that's potentially something that you would like to do. Let's validate that. If I go back to my vendor bills, you see here now it's partially paid for both, and we only have 21, yeah, 21 remaining. That's also something that you can do if you don't go through a batch payment. That works. I don't know exactly the use case that you have, but it could be working both ways. Usually the first example I was showing with the batch payment is something that will happen when you are going to use SEPA system in Europe. You schedule several payments, you put them in an XML file, you send the XML file to your bank, and they're going to take care of that. And to create the payment at the right moment. Okay, same supplier, one payment, different distributions. Then it's more like the second example I was giving. If you have one payment, and they know, but then they need to know also on their side that that's what you want to do. It's more like the second case. You have one payment that is not related to, and that was here, one payment not related to one invoice in particular. And from what you have in your bank, the way you are going to reconcile it to match it is here through this. You have two lines. Because you had 200 euro of credit, you put 100 for each and every invoice. Okay, checking the time, we still have 15 minutes remaining. We have Koa and Ho that is asking, hey, can I ask how to use the inventory counting on Odoo? Yes, it's a generic question, so I'm not sure I will be able to answer it correctly, but if you want to count things in Odoo, there are several ways you can do that. If it's product per product, you can go on the product and you say, okay, I'm going to have a look at this product in my stock right now, and I'm going to update the quantity. And there you see you have different locations, and you could create and change the quantity at this place. Maybe here you thought you had 8, but in fact you have only 7, and you are going to do this, and Odoo will understand that in fact there was an issue in your stock, and it's going to, because I did what I did here. If I go in the inventory again, I can see that in my moves history, I just did this. That's what I created right now. I moved some stock to my virtual location inventory loss because I need to say that one unit disappeared, and the way for Odoo to do that is to use notion of stock moves that are going to move from one place to another. And by default here you have product quantity updated, which is the text that is given by Odoo when we do such kind of thing here. That is one way if you want to modify just one product. Another possibility is to go in physical inventory, and there you have it on multiple products, and there you can do that and say, okay, by default that product is saying that I have minus 30, which doesn't exist really in the reality, so maybe I have 10. You can do that and say, okay, this is the difference that I have. Odoo thinks I have minus 30, which is not real. I have 10 in my stock, so the difference is 40. You can decide to apply, or you will click on apply all when you have done the whole list. So you have a screen to encode it directly in Odoo. Could work on a tablet as well. If this is okay, but in fact you already received a document with the amounts from somebody responsible of your stock, and it's in an Excel file, you can do the same by going here, import records, and in fact what you are going to import is this column together with the product information, and so you will be able to mass change the stock everywhere. That works fine as well. Here if I click on apply, it's going to tell me, yeah, but you forgot something. That product in particular, it needs a serial number, so I cannot do it that way. And potentially here it's by lot, so I could give the same serial number for everyone, but that is something that I didn't mention there. So yeah, so that is, it's going to be something I need to do on serial number here. So importing would be better, or going here, not there, sorry. Beyond the lot prod, update the quantity, then you see if there's something wrong. I can maybe create a new one or change the quantities on a lot that is already existing. That would be working as well. Mohamed Hajab is asking, hello, if I'm using Odoo Online, can I move to Odoo.sh? What are the possibilities? Yes, you can, but there's one thing that is very important, which is the following. Have a look at the version that you are using at the moment. You will find it under settings. At the very bottom of the settings, you can see it here. There, I'm on a 18.0 Enterprise Edition, so that's good. I can move there. That is possible, but it wouldn't be if I were, this time I'm going on my, not there, my databases. And from here, if I go on this one, I think, yeah, no, it's asking me to upgrade. I need one where I don't upgrade. So this one maybe is already in v18.2, let's check. let's check that. What is the version that we have here? Yes, v18.2. And that means you cannot move to Odoo.sh because you need to wait for version 19 before you do that. Odoo.sh is only supporting long-term support versions, so all the versions that end with 0, 18.0, 19.0, those ones will be the ones that Odoo accepts as a database to put on Odoo.sh. And you can see that, in fact, when you go on Odoo.sh, if you take anything here, go in the settings, you will see the version that we support. The last three versions here, 16.0, 17, 18.0. So that is mandatory. You cannot escape that. So I was saying that only possibility is to wait for the other one, this one, that you reach version 19. It's not totally true. Another possibility is to say, okay, I'm on 18.2, but I've just started, and so I'm okay to revert back to an 18.0 environment where I'm restarting everything. Potentially, that already happened in the past. Somebody tests a version online, 18.2, they say, okay, version 19, it's like the time for the version to get out, the migration scripts, the upgrade scripts, it's going to take something like between 6 to 9 months maybe, so you want to go faster because you have development for your client, you promised it or whatever, all the reasons can be good. In that case, maybe it's better to go back to version 18.0, but we don't have any scripts for that. We don't have scripts for downgrading a database, so if that's what you want, you will have to do it. You will have to do it manually. Another question is, when is the next hackathon of Odoo? I don't know, but one place you can hackathon 4th edition. Is it this one? No, sold out November 2024, so it's not this one. Let me check, because usually when you want to know that, you go in Odoo events. There, you don't filter on any country, and we can try to see hackathon. Do we have one scheduled? We have. It's in India. Okay, so you have a few here, but I think it's on the spot, so nothing else than this one. Let me check, because I've seen a few others that were. No, nothing. The other one is a template. So nothing in Belgium, but I don't know where you're located. Don't know who asked. So you can have a look at the website, the events that we have, and look for the hackathon. That would be a good way of getting the information. So that works as well. Mostafa Taher Zadeh is asking, is it possible to change the alignment of spreadsheet in Odoo? Needs to be right to left. Good question. I don't know, but let's try. I never thought about that. So let's try it. Let's select a few things, or let's simply move it to a spreadsheet. Any blank spreadsheet, that is good. Okay, we have it here. I'm checking if there's something with the locale that we can work with. If I'm saying Arabic, it's not going from right to left. It's the first time I have that question, but the fact that I didn't receive it before makes me think that it should be okay. Format, yeah, it's not exactly that. Data. I'm going to change my language also to Arabic, because I don't know if that needs to be part of the thing. Usually we have RTL support, so right to left. So I'm going to check that here. I need to install it also. Languages. Okay. All right. Switch to Arabic. I'm going to get lost. That's going to be fun. I will work only based on where I think things are. Okay, so there. What what is the document icon? I'm never sure. It's the one? Yes, good. So now spreadsheet. Yes, okay. The last one I created, it's one of those two. Yes. And did it change? Because I have the feeling the status, no, it's not the one that I created now. There are a few more things here. It's the one I created, that's maybe this one. Nope. Pivot view. That's the one I suppose, because it was on the, yeah. So a few places, I see here the formula, for example, is the right place, but the rest, that I don't know what it is. And the rest, I don't know. Let me check. So yeah, that's correct. We have a few translations, so that's okay. Language seems to be all right, but then for the right to left support, I don't know if there's something more we can do, because the local is good or not. Yes, it's Arabic here. And I don't know if that is sufficient for what you need, in fact, or you would need the options to be on the right as well, and everything there on the right also. I wonder if that is sufficient for you. So Mustafa, that's more like a question of, is it good enough? Because then another thing, but it has nothing directly to do with the local, is that the fact that you could be going here and move it that way, but that is not only what you need. The columns order is going to remain the same. So let me know if that would be sufficient. I'm going to go back to English just so that I'm not struggling more after. And maybe a last question for today. It is from Americo in French, but the translation is English. In English is the following: Hello, in CRM, how to remove the name of the opportunity in the header of the emails sent via the messages button. We want to keep the name reserved for internal usage. Is it possible to adapt the layout? Yes, but it's not that super easy. In fact, it's going to be hard to show this to you this way. Let me check if I can give an example, because what you are asking, I know what it is, but the issue is that mostly people won't see what it means. I'm looking at maybe a few things that I already have. Okay, on this one, let me check if I can give a good demo of that one in the CRM. Sales 184, yes, it was this one, so my pipeline. Which one is it? Like, because I have another one here that is linked to I think that's the one. No, it's a task. Okay, it's not in the CRM, but it will be the same story in the tasks. I think we have a task that is called boire des coups. Let me find it. Yes, that's the one. Okay, so now I can show this. So what you're asking is the following. There's a task here, and the task was sent to someone else, here to Enrique Egan. You see the name that is over there, which is an email address that I have, and I've been using several times in the Odoo Insider here. And you see what you're asking on CRM, but it's exactly the same on the task, so don't be too worried about the fact that I'm using a different model for this. You have boire des coups here, and you see we can find it here, which is sharing a drink together, if you like. And that thing, it's there, and maybe I can show it again. You have a button, you have this, and then you have the stage and extra information. And this usually comes from always, I'm going to say the same place, which is in the views. You have something that we call the notification, and the notification, the main one is here. You usually have a button, a URL, and a title, and some extra information, and that's usually what we are going to show in the header. Let me find that. You have, yeah, a content part. You have a footer, and that maybe we can split. If I go here, the part here of the content is what we have there. The footer is what we have there, and then you see powered by Odoo and follow. The powered by Odoo, you can see it here, and follow as well. And the part at the top is here, and those are the buttons. that we get, and so we need to change this information, hide it if you want, but the record name is here. The record name is usually Wardeku because the name of the record is the name of the task. It's the same in the CRM, so you need to change that in whole or in details to make this work. That's also a possibility that you have. It means changing how it looks like. So in the view here, you know it should be done through an inherited view so that it works. Okay, I think it's time for us to stop for today. I'll definitely come back with the notion of importing images because that's something I don't like when we have a little glitch like this on the show. But it's okay because it was anyway scheduled for in less than 1 month, so you will get the information you need. Until then, we see each other next week for another session, technico-functional. Until then, have a look at the Odoo experience. It's growing again. We have a lot of talks being announced. It will be a massive event, so maybe one place you can go is already there, or the YouTube channel where we have a lot of other teaching moments, webinars. We have 1 or 2 every week, so don't hesitate. There's a lot of content over there that you can use to learn about Odoo. All right, guys, see you next week.